Good evening. Welcome to Good Grits, Pensacola's show about food and wine. I'm Chef Jim Shirley from the Fish House and Atlas Oyster House. And I want to welcome you to tonight's show and encourage you to come join us downtown Pensacola on the water. I like to start every evening with, and every recipe with a glass of wine. And here to help me with that tonight is my friend Shelly Yates. Thank you, ma'am. This is a lovely Sauvignon Blanc from Napa Valley. It's Turnbull. It's their 04 vintage. And we're going to pop that. And of course, at both my restaurants, wine service is an important part of what goes on. I'm using a waiter's wine key, and that's going to carve off the cap. This has two levers on it that'll help me remove the cork easily. Insert in the center, roll through. Then we take the first lever up and the second one. And wine for Shelly. Come in. And you notice this has got a nice clear color. A lot of fruit on the nose. See how this is tasting.
Very good.
That's very tasty. And helping me maintain the wine list down at the Fish House is Will. Hey, Will, what's new at the house?
Well, Jim, we have this beautiful new Cuvier system that keeps our wines at the optimal temperature. Whites at 44 degrees and reds at 63.
Hey, Will, that's great. You know, temperature control for wine is so important. 44 degrees for whites, just right. 63 is wonderful for reds. It really helps show the fresh fruit, and that's classic French cellar temperature. And it's one of the great new things we have going at the Fish House, and we got some great things going on at the Atlas also. And Steve's over there. Hey, Steve, what's new?
Jim, it's going great. I'm actually standing in the new captain's room right now. As you can see, it's much larger than it was before. We've actually now can do larger parties of up to 60 people. So we can now do all those birthday parties, rehearsal dinners, business presentations, and we've now got the ability to take care of any audio-visual needs.
That's great. That room's going to be a great addition to the restaurant and a great place for parties. And, well, I've got, hey, there's Julie and Vicky at the sushi bar. Hey, guys, what do you got there?
Jim, we're eating one of our great Bulgarian rolls.
Man, Bulgarian roll, that's one of my favorites. Look at that fresh tuna on the top. That's just dynamite. And, you know, looking around town, I've got, at the Bailey's Farmers Market, I've got Jean-Pierre. Hey, Jean-Pierre, what looks good today?
Hey, Jim, look at these great tomatoes.
Hey, the tomatoes do look wonderful. And down on the docks, Chris Kelly has been hunting up some fish for us. What do you got, Chris?
Hey Jim, we got some beautiful amberjack over here, also some red snapper. We're going to bring them to the Fish House, get them cleaned up and ready for dinner service.
All right, amberjack and red snapper for dinner tonight. Fantastic.
Key lime pie with a fresh meringue on top.
And I've got Chef Irving waiting for me in the kitchen. I think it's time for me to change coats and get back there. Stay with us. Irv, thanks for getting everything started. Maybe you could tell everybody what you've done so far.
I'm doing some beautiful prosciutto wrapped asparagus here. Then we're going to tie it off with green onion to hold it together.
Great, Irv. Thanks for getting everything set up for me.
You can take it from here, Jim.
Great, thanks. Well, to start with, I'm going to finish up with where Irv left off on these prosciutto wrapped asparagus. They look great. All we're going to do is put just a bit of oil in my skillet. I'm going to pop these little jewels in there, and I'm going to put them in an oven at 350 degrees for about 8 minutes. And that's great. Now we're going to whip together a real simple vinaigrette. We're going to use some of these great vine-ripe tomatoes that we got from the farmer's market, along with these fresh silver corn. It's going to be dynamite, just a little bit of onion there. The first thing I'm going to do is actually make the vinaigrette. So we'll take a little oil, a little vinegar. This is my homemade stuff. It's pretty potent. And I'm going to whisk in a bit of oil. standard, it's about 3 to 1. Plenty for that. Add just a bit of salt and some fresh pepper. Theoretically, I've got a lot of different pepper mills here. Squeeze of fresh lemon. Hold this on the side for now. Just a bit of red onion. It's looking nice, finely diced. Add that in. Nice tomatoes. Nice fine ripe guys. All that flavor. They haven't been refrigerated below 55, so they've got lots of good fresh flavor. We want some kind of big pieces here. There we are. It's looking nice. And we take this corn, cut it off the cob. We just finished boiling that a minute ago. That's real nice, some local corn we've got. Farmers market's loaded. That's going to be good. Simple batch there. Just going to flip it a little bit. And we're going to reserve that, wait for our meal. All right, right now I'm going to finish up this caper relish that we've got. We've got the red onions already sliced. I'm just going to add some shallots just for another flavor of onion. Got capers, parsley, a little lemon juice. About to add right now. That'll add a great flavor to that. Just a bit more lemon. There we go. Give that a nice stir. Season it with a bit of salt. A little peppercorn mix. I have all these different pepper mills. This one has a mixture. This has pink peppercorns in it. This one has habanero flakes in it. So, gotta be careful what you're. This one has Szechuan peppers. So if you're at the house, make sure you know which one you're grabbing. Okay, that's going to be great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fire off this salmon now. And heat up a pan with a bit of olive oil. It's a nice extra virgin Spanish olive oil. Should have a good taste. I'm going to take these this fillet salmon. We're going to season it with a bit of salt and pepper on both sides. That's looking great. A little coarser grind. Take those on. I've got some flour here. I'm just going to dust this in here for 1 second, each side, just to get a real light coating on there. Now we're just going to wait for 1 moment while my pan gets to a sizzle. Waiting for you. And a saute actually means to jump, so you wait until when the dish that you're throwing into the saute pan actually sizzles and pops right then. So we're kind of looking for that. A lot of times you can throw just a little dab of flour in there and use that as your signal for when the oil is going to be hot. It'd be great. While we're doing that, I'm going to clean up our little salmon area so we don't cross-contaminate. A nice, clean. We just use a light sanitizer to get that nice and clean. To finish this, I have the salad. I have black-eyed peas that I've cooked earlier with just a little bit of bacon. It's going to have a great taste. Here's some fresh basil. Take a couple of these leaves, roll them, put them back to back, roll them up, make a little chiffonade across there, just slicing across the leaf. And that makes those nice little ribbons. Got here. Get that bit of a stir. And that's completely ready for service now. Pan. Always remember when you're making a tomato salad, always keep your tomatoes out. Once you refrigerate them below 55 degrees, it really takes the edge off them. Okay, we got the hot pan. Sizzle. I'm not going to let this go very far because I like my salmon a little more medium to medium rare. Of course, you can cook your salmon however you care for. I'm just going to get a nice little browning on this. Then we're going to be going straight to the plate with a relish and a nice little tomato salad. Should only take a moment. I use a really nice extra virgin olive oil, and you've got to be careful when you're doing that because their smoke point, or the point where it really comes apart or the oil starts disintegrating, is much lower than a pomace or say a vegetable oil, something like that. So we're just going to just barely get a crust on this. And watch your temperatures. You've got to keep your temperature lower when you're using extra virgin. There you go. Roll that baby over nicely. Beautiful color. Good. And when this is all done, I'm just going to squeeze just the last bit of this lemon over the top. I'm going to garnish it with our relish, and I'm going to plate up the salad on the side. Should be excellent. It's an excellent time. About the time it takes to sip a couple of glasses of wine, a couple sips and it'll all be done. Said salmon's a fattier fish. It's very healthy. It's got the omega-3s. Okay, this is looking great. I got a nice little brown on the bottom. So we're just going to cut the heat. We'll lay this out. A bit of lemon over the top. Okay. Escaping. And now this lovely relish on top of that. Nice mound of that. That's going to taste great. And for the salad on the side, pull it off and let it drain a bit. Put it off. There we go. And the vinaigrette rolling onto the fish is going to be dynamite. It's going to help the flavors. Here we go. We'll wipe the edges, pour up some wine, and we're ready to serve this dish. Hey, it's Chef Jim. I got a lot of requests for some simple southern dishes that newcomers to the area don't really understand how to prepare. We'll just roll through an easy one, fried okra. Start with whole pods, cut them in half on the bias. I like them like this. They have a nice look when they're fried. There you go. nice. And okra is going to come in, start really coming in the season in May and through the rest of the season during the hot weather. Really takes a beating and it gets windy, so that. The original African term was gumbo. Here we go. We're going to add a little buttermilk. We're going to make egg wash. Buttermilk, a couple of eggs. Take that, whisk it together. Okay, in this pot here, deep pot, a little safe. I just have a little bit of oil in the bottom, maybe an inch. And this is canola, 80% canola, 20% olive oil in this pot here. So the simple thing I'm going to do is we're just going to drop the okra into here, then into the flour, and just toss it real easily, lightly, with that. And we're going to drop that into frying oil at 350 degrees. Got our spatula at the ready. Only takes a second. Be nice and brown and crisp. And there we go. Fresh fried okra. Did want to mention this is a cornmeal mixture, salt, white pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. Egg wash, 2 eggs, a cup of buttermilk. Whisk those together. The okra into the egg wash, into the seasoned flour, into the frying oil for just about 3 minutes. And there it is. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to finish off this delicious wine. Come and join me for a glass down to the Fish House or Atlas Oyster House.